to accommodate more than 350 students.
The local leadership lauded First Lady Janet Museveni for her vision and commitment to supporting the less privileged in society, acknowledging the significant role it plays in empowering the young generation.
Managed to achieve so many things, involvements on ground, even on the side of academics, we are excelling at a very high speed. Last year we managed to have 67 candidates, but among the...
When the children get their holidays, when they come back home, to sit down with them and counsel them, help them, let them have a chance to look at their books and see how they perform.
The students were urged to seize the opportunity to study and become valuable contributors to society.
So we appeal to all learners, more especially those from Grammy, that starting from this year, let us have the best students from Uganda Matters. Let's have the best students.
The First Ladies program under the Grameen Foundation aims to empower women through cooperatives, support orphans, and provide other forms of assistance.
The school as Uganda Matters, but also is going to improve the way these learners are going to study at the school. So we appeal to the parents to always make sure that we bring up these children so religious and academic wise.
Irene Faith Nantongo, Joseph Moyengo, UBC News.
And on to matters pertaining to the health sector now, where Uganda Cancer Institute has unveiled a new division of Molecular Imaging and Therapy Center estimated at 350 billion Ugandan shillings to advance cancer care in the region. The Executive Director of Uganda Cancer Institute, Dr. Jackson Orem, says the project introduces advanced diagnostic and therapeutic services.
The Division of Molecular Imaging and Therapy at Uganda Cancer Institute aims at improving the quality of life for patients and advancing the ability to combat cancer. The institute noted that the expansion and the establishment of the Division of Molecular Imaging and Therapy will ensure that Uganda Cancer Institute continues to lead the way in cancer treatment, research and training.
This is going to improve the way we treat cancer at the level of an individual. We call it personalized treatment. That means that even though you have two people who have one type of cancer, because they're different individuals, they can be treated differently. And in order for us to do that, we need actually to use isotopes, which we are setting up here. The entire project is going to cost us about 350 billion shilling, but the first and the second phase may cost us just about 200 billion.
The division will provide more accurate diagnostic and advanced treatment options, including targeted radionuclide therapy, which is revolutionizing cancer care globally.
It's not only for cancer. Actually, the heart institute needs it. The Malaria needs it. So as we get, like now, when we look at the cyclotron getting here, because the biggest challenge is the production of the isotopes. Once we have them, then you are going to have very many PET CTs, PET scanners coming around.
The unit is also designed to facilitate targeted radionuclide therapy, a groundbreaking cancer modality that uses radioactive isotopes to specifically target and treat tumors, reducing damage to healthy tissues and increasing treatment precisions.
So new cases, we see about 36,000 new cases. In terms of the numbers of cancers that are there in the community, it's about 72,000. But the most important, which we need to emphasize, is that our mortality or rate of death from cancer is still very high. Because of the 36,000 new cases, in 1 year, 80% of them will be dead. And we are saying that by coming up with a system like what we are setting here, we are going to improve on the outcome of our cancer patients by making sure that the treatment is more targeted.
Zahara Abigaba, UBC News.
The Commissioner, Health Services at the Ministry of Health, Dr. Henry Luze, says that the risk of the population contracting tuberculosis is high in Busoga, Teso and West Nile sub-regions. Dr. Luze, also the National TB and Leprosy Program Coordinator, was speaking during a fundraising for construction of the 4th TB Isolation Center at Iganga Referral Hospital.
With my sweat, the doctor said it is TB.
The report by Ministry of Health indicates that 200 in every 100,000 patients seeking treatment are diagnosed with tuberculosis. In 2024 alone, and over 90,000 patients were diagnosed with TB.
Well, last year we were able to get over 90,000 patients suffering from tuberculosis. That is a very, very high burden of disease if we are getting over 90,000 patients in a year.
He was addressing stakeholders during a fundraising for the construction of TB Isolation Center at Iganga Referral Hospital.
Because we have the ordinary TB, which is sensitive to all the drugs, but there is also what we call the drug-resistant TB, which is quite harder to treat, and we are seeing increasing numbers of this drug-resistant tuberculosis in all regions. So mainly Busoga region, West Nile and the Teso region, they are the worst affected.
Ntwetwe County MP, also chairperson of the TB Parliamentary Caucus, Joel Sebikali, says that the current research from Makerere University School of Public Health shows TB is a threat to public health.
And it was confirmed that where there is one woman who has TB infection, there are 4 men who are hidden who have TB. And when those men do not attend health facilities, remember that one person who has TB infects 10 people in the public a day, which means those 4 will infect 40.
Nevertheless, TB could be wiped out by 2030 with a multi-sectoral involvement after the integration of health services. However, stakeholders are concerned about the reduction in funding for health services.
If Trump has taken away the money, now the government has to sit down and see what can we do as government. We can stop other activities because TB kills even than HIV. TB kills even than any other disease.
This year, we are really focusing on driving TB prevention and elimination by 2030. And it's a very, very great opportunity for us to increase awareness at community level. And it's one of the pillars that is important to increasing the response to TB at national level.
The marathon winners at the fundraising were awarded medals.
News Tonight will now take a short break, but we'll be returning with much more.
We are what? Unstoppable. We are what? Unstoppable. I'm in a plantation, but on a global mission. Internet ambition, full condition. We are what? Unstoppable. We are what? Unstoppable. Oro cash is gone, netaga yo karoni, niga mukafoni, money in the zone. We are what? Unstoppable. We are what? Unstoppable. We are good.
With you and MTN together, our ambition is unstoppable.
We are what? Unstoppable!
Amazina ganje Nyetekwa Seruhanga John Bosco ninduga mu district ya Rukungiri ndio muhanguzi wa miliyoni 18 na Uganda National Rotary nzahangwire urwo mukuzana star 278 ngafuna message eriko eka mu muhanguzi nashemererwa konka nabaza kugira ngo nedi y'abafere sente ziriyo zona bakaziteka ko nazihangwira.
Uganda National Lottery. Dream, play, win.
Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Tuba Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board.
Agriculture is Uganda's economic backbone, employing about 70% of the working population and contributing 20% of the GDP. As the world becomes a digital global village, ICT has proven to increase productivity in the agricultural value chain. UKUSAF, through its Strategic Plan 3, recognizes the importance of access and usage of ICT-based tools, information and knowledge for farmers by providing them the needed skills to live, learn, work and participate in a digital society.
We came up with a project which we took to UKSAF, and we're happy that UKSAF supported it. That project is called ICT for Farmers. What did we get from ICT for Farmers? We managed to skill up to 100,000 farmers.
Welcome back from that break, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. Warm welcome to those of you just joining us. Now, Ibanda District Woman Member of Parliament, Jane Wainomjisha, has initiated support to 36 mosques and Muslim communities in Ibanda District. She was attending Iftar in Ishongoro. The Ibanda District Hadi, Sheikh Yusuf Kalule, called for support to orphans, widows and other vulnerable groups in the area.
The Isinjirombara Water Project under construction will address water challenges in Bara City and neighboring districts. The region faces water shortage during the dry season.
Here is the water treatment plant, which is about 30,000 cubic meters of water per day. And there is another phase which we shall construct as and when demand increases. And we are very happy. So this water situation in Bara
قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد.
Because at least what I wanted for this month, I have fulfilled it. Today we had Uftali for the Muslims in the whole constituency, in the whole district of Ibanda. And this is a very big prayer for me, because these are our sisters and brothers in God. And we had a dua, which was conducted by the district cars and all the sheikhs of the 36 mosques in the whole district. So it was a blessing here. I've done unity and reconciliation in the whole district. And today I was on unity. You saw, as a Christian, I realized that I have also to bring the Muslim closer to us, especially on this Ramadan period.
Really appreciate, and we pray to the Almighty Allah to reward her abundantly. In Ibanda, as I have talked, we have a plan of constructing a very big mosque. I think it will be the first project in its kind in Ankole Kigezi, and estimated to cover 2.9 billion. It will be constructed at our Muslim district headquarters at Ugarama in the near future.
Yeah, this is a very good idea, because construction of a mosque, this is a prayer house. So construction of the mosque is very important in the district, and I will support them the way I can, because at least the process has already been begun.
Allahu Akbar,
Still in western Uganda, the Isenjero Mbarara water project on River Kagera will be completed by July this year. According to National Water and Sewerage Corporation, the project will combat water challenges in Mbarara city and neighboring districts.
The Isenjero Mbara water project under construction will address water challenges in Mbara city and neighboring districts. The region faces water shortage during the dry season.
Here is the water treatment plant, which is about 30,000 cubic meters of water per day. And there is another phase which we shall construct as and when demand increases. And we are very happy. So this water situation in Mbara, which has been a problem, especially in the dry season, when levels in river ways go down, will soon be history.
The Managing Director of National Water and Sewerage Corporation, Dr. Engineer Silva Mugisha, inspected the progress of the project situated on River Kagera.
The water treatment plant, which is the first phase, is about 85% complete. The pipe laying, which is taking water from here to Mbarara, is also almost 80 to 85% complete. And we are hopeful that before the end of June, we should be able to complete this project and people should start enjoying water.
The work has progressed very well. We started in 2022. Now we are hoping to finish by June 30th this year.
Another project inspected is that of Kalungu, which is about completion and will spread water to different reservoirs in Greater Masaka.
It's a huge treatment plant we have constructed in Kalungu using our own resources. The plant was finished, is already finished. We were with the contractor yesterday, it is finished. We have constructed the reservoir, we have constructed the waterworks, the intake is finished. We have even laid the pipe, which is about to reach Kalungu Town Council. And we have arranged the rest of the pipes to make sure that the water reaches Kalungu Town Council and also other pipes to connect to the other reservoirs.
The ongoing water sources enhancement by the National Water and Sewerage Corporation will reinforce water reliability after adverse impacts of climate change. Abdul Nasir Lubama and Regan Ahumuza for UBC.
President Yoweri Museveni, through the Office of the Prime Minister, has urged the Muslim community in PG district to support programs such as the parish development model to foster economic empowerment. This call was made during the distribution of Ramadan packages to fasting Muslims. The exercise is spearheaded by Hongera Sana, a non-governmental organization working under the Office of the Prime Minister.
The holy month of Ramadan is a time of fasting, devotion, and spiritual reflection for Muslims. It is also a period of love, sharing, and kindness within communities.
The Imams in PG district, we extend our thanks to all these, the support has given us in breaking our fasting during the month of Ramadan. We pray that may the Lord give him guidance and wisdom in leading our country for peace and prosperity. We love you and we shall always be behind you as the President of the nation of Uganda.
In the spirit of Ramadan, Hongera Sana, a non-government organization, has started distributing essential Ramadan packages to the Muslim community.
I believe that by empowering our people through socio-economic transformation and household income development, we can attain the peace and stability we want in our country. We thank His Excellency the President for minding about our fellow Muslims, and we call upon all the Muslim community to comply as well as welcoming all developmental initiatives from government and as well as learning all the fellow Muslims.
Mpigi is the first beneficiary district of this initiative.
Working with Hongera Sana, a non-government organization that is working with the President's office to distribute iftar to imams of different districts. Today we are at Mpigi. We are very grateful to the President that he considers the contribution of the imam in the development of this country. It's the reason we are here. We pledge to continue working with the Muslim community to see that Uganda is peaceful.
This distribution exercise highlights the spirit of sharing, caring and fostering unity during the holy month of Ramadan. Justin Nakami and Mike Bakawalindi compiled this story for UBC.
To Kasese district now, where the Commissioner for Maternal Child Health at the Ministry of Health, Dr. Richard Mugahi, has rallied overseeing about Rwenzururu in Rwenzori sub-region to mobilize the community for the novel R21 malaria vaccine to children under 2 years. He says cultural leaders play a pivotal role in sensitizing the masses to embrace medicine.
The vaccine is scheduled to begin on April 1st this year, when the inoculation will be administered to children in 4 doses at 6, 7, 8 and 18 months of age.
So we had to rationalize and see what age group is mostly affected. So how we came to 6 to 18 months, this is the age group that actually predominantly has low immunity. They have low immunity, they've not received any infection of malaria, so their immunity is low. Malaria is a funny disease. When you get an infection of malaria, your immunity to malaria improves. So that's why you see people who come from outside countries, they get malaria here, within no time it becomes complicated.
Uganda will incorporate the R21 Matrix M vaccine into the routine immunization of children starting in April, prioritizing districts with high malaria transmission.
Malaria kills very fast and kills so many people in our countries. And even those it doesn't kill, we find that they get disabled. In this age group, we are talking about 6 to 18 months. It actually causes cerebral palsy. Malaria goes to the brain, and the brain is completely damaged. It becomes like a vegetable. It will never be a useful person. So,
doctors say the vaccine is safe.
People are talking about, government wants to kill your children, you are going to receive these doses, you are going to make your children imported. Very many things about vaccines. And I want to state it clearly that there is no government that will have intentions to kill its own children. Sincerely, it's not there. So when people want to refuse getting vaccinated, they think of very many negative issues against the vaccines. It is not true.
The Deputy Prime Minister of Busingwa Bwa Rwenzururu, Balitazare Kule Benson, promised to rally the local community to embrace the exercise. Roy Kevin Matovu, UBC News.
Kama nemo pocket, tambula body street, issues are my target. We are what? Unstoppable. We are what? Unstoppable. I'm in a plantation, but on a global mission, internet ambition, full condition. We are what? Unstoppable. We are what? Unstoppable. Oro cash is gone, netaga yo karoni, liga mukafoni, money in the zone. We are what? Unstoppable. We are what? Unstoppable.
With you and MTN together, our ambition is unstoppable.
We are what? Unstoppable!
According to the Uganda Bureau of Statistics Census Report of 2016, in Uganda, 12.4% of the population, about 4.5 million, live with a disability. Limited access to ICT and assistive technologies increases digital disparities, prompting UCOSAF's aim to promote digital inclusiveness for persons with disabilities. The ICT for People with Disability program aims to improve the accessibility of education and technology for persons with disabilities and promote their full and effective participation in society. UCOSAF is implementing this program through the creation and maintenance of an online observatory for persons with disabilities intended to link persons with disabilities with service providers and different programs that empower them, and provision of adaptive tools that enhance their quality of life through ICTs and digital skilling.
Welcome back. Let's have a look now at the latest in business. Agricultural experts highlight the farmers' field school approach as a proven method to uplift livelihoods in Teso sub-region through better farming practices and mindset change. Officials from the National Farmers Leadership Center are optimistic about its success given its effectiveness in developed countries.
The 2021 Uganda Bureau of Statistics report, Teso ranked third poorest sub-region due to insurgency that led to loss of property.
In the past, the major animal husbandry practice was keeping of cattle, zebu cattle, but certain events took place in the past and cattle keeping was hit hard by cattle rustling.
Later, government launched affirmative action with programs to support affected regions, but most initiatives have not achieved the intended goals.
Even the recent population census, the poverty levels in Teso are very high compared to the rest of the country. And even looking at my own clan, I have seen that there are very few people in my clan whom we can say have broken through this glass ceiling we talk about.
Agricultural experts have identified the farmers' field school approach as a solution to tackle high poverty levels in Teso sub-region.
Because of shortage of extension workers, communities are put together in groups and taken through on how they can farm, of course the farming that can make them generate money. But also in this farmer field school approach, they are taken through on how to identify some of the challenges in farming, and they are taken through on how to overcome these challenges.
Officials from the National Farmers Leadership Center say the approach has been tested and is effective.
The first farmer field school was formed in Indonesia in 1989. So today in 2025, we are much emphasizing farmer field schools because since then, results started doing what? Spreading all over the world.
The most important thing is attitudinal change. That's the most important area. If people can not only get the ideas, but also change their attitudes towards what they are doing.
After interacting with agricultural experts, Dr. John Ekure, a mindset change facilitator, conducted a training that benefited hundreds of Iraraka Imo clan members.
Uganda is a largely agricultural country. We can't run away from it, and unfortunately most of the farming that is done in our country is subsistence farming. And so I thought this team from the National Farmers Leadership Center could help train our clans people to in different modern farming techniques and change their minds on subsistence farming to commercial farming, that they must be able to get some income to run their families and actually run society and be part of this economy.
At least about 70% of people in Teso sub-region are living in abject poverty, a situation that needs to be addressed. Oko Joseph, UBC.
The Minister of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries has held a stakeholder engagement on domesticating the African Union Fertilizer and Soil Health Action 2024. The initiative aims to triple domestic production and distribution of certified quality organic and inorganic fertilizers by 2034 to significantly boost agricultural production. Let's get more in this story.
Currently, Uganda loses 80 kilograms of soil nutrients per hectare annually, largely due to soil erosion and other poor farming practices.
The challenge we are facing with soils, our soils have lost fertility, and already farmers are seeing it. When you go to a use of organic or inorganic fertilizers, you have to know how much what yield do you want?
At present, fertilizer usage coverage is only 4 kilograms per hectare, which is largely attributed to the misconception that Africa's soils are inherently fertile.
We are only doing 4 kgs per hectare, and our yields are, I think, very low because of the inadequate use of fertilizers.
Till today, the mantra has been Uganda is endowed with the fertile soils. So what do you expect Will anybody hear about fertilizers when the mantra is Uganda is endowed with fertile soils?
Representing the farmers, Reverend Godfrey stressed the need for academia to engage more with local farmers in order to change their mindset.
In sense, let's involve the local farmers and we leave things to talk just on paper work. They are telling us 234, but the population is increasing.
Dr. Florence Louisa highlighted that Uganda has some of the best agricultural policies, yet implementation remains the biggest challenge.
Many policies and very good policies on paper. However, what we think is lacking is implementation of that policy, of those different policies. But again, also implementation is limited, first of all, by the capacity. We have the will to do so, to do all that we have in the plans and in the policies. However, in terms of capacity, both on the side of the government, but also on the side of other actors supporting the government.
Building capacity for locals and lowering the price of fertilizers is key in boosting fertilizer usage in the country. Cayenne Faith, Nanono Smaya, for ABC.
Despite progress in women's empowerment, labor union representatives and women activists decry rampant sexual harassment at workplaces, warning that it continues to threaten gender equality gains. They say women continue to face abuse, some coerced into sex for jobs or promotions. At universities, lecturers still demand sex for marks, forcing many women and girls into silent suffering. Crispa Sandinitwe reports.
Today's belated International Women's Day March, led by Public Services International, COP2, NOTU, among others, amplified gender equality call. Labor unions representatives and gender equality activists say the psychological torture women endure daily at workplaces is unbearable. In higher institutions of learning, some lecturers still demand sex for marks, compelling many young girls to fall into the trap for the sake of their academic future.
We urge the government to ensure that at least issues what we call carpet interviews, sex for marks, and all those things are handled and tackled because they undermine the dignity of a woman.
One of the things we must be cognizant of that always hampers women active participation and productivity in any workplace is actually violence and harassment in the world of work. And violence comes in so many places. Sometimes people only talk about sexual harassment. There's one which is inadvertent that people never realize, which is psychological harassment, which may also include seclusion from work, being denied work opportunity, being denied trips, among others.
The failure to pass the minimum wage bill for years has only worsened the plight of workers, especially female. Activists dismiss claims that investors would flee if the bill is enacted.
The issues of the minimum wage have been severally talked about, but I do recall that about 2019, if I may recall, the bill was taken to His Excellency the President for assent, but I think there was a misconception that when he signed the assent to the minimum wage, it could actually scare investors. But even investors, the minimum wage is very good because it will even help investors very much more than even the employees. Because it's an issue of negotiation, it's an issue of consultation within the collective bargaining agreement framework.
Gender equality advocates say men must actively join the fight too in order to sink the message deeper. The issue of workers' exploitation by foreign bosses in industrial parks and businesses is condemned.
The factories, can we have continuously those cross-check, the monitoring ongoing to see that workers of Uganda are in a better life? Otherwise, there are so many cries out there which we are not watching, which we are not fully following. Even our children who have gone out of the country, those who are being mistreated.
Sexual harassment does not refer to rape, for example. It refers to, for example, discrimination in terms of promotions, discrimination in terms of appointments, but even in terms of interviews. In most cases, men are given priority.
Crispus Arinitwe, UBC News.
Sports news now, and the second league meet of the year happened this weekend in Weyogereri as the top swimmers continued to impress. Take a watch.
Ugandan swimming is making waves as many swimmers impressed over the weekend. The second league meet saw impressive performances from several young swimmers, including Subi Peyton Mary, who broke a national record in the girls 13-14 age category with a personal best time of 4 minutes 52 seconds. Other standout athletes included Aya Adams, Kirabo Paloma, Zara Mari, Aziku Ian, and Rukundo Daniel, who achieved a remarkable 2 minutes 35 seconds in the 200-meter breaststroke. Meanwhile, the talented swimmers set to represent Uganda at the Africa Junior Championships in Egypt next month are feeling confident as they aim to make their country proud.
For Africa Juniors and Commonwealth, there is no big difference. The competition is basically the same. Everyone is making around the same time. So it's the small details that count the most. The underwaters, the turns, everything that counts is going to be at such a part of your race. I'm expecting that I should at least get to make a new personal best in the events that I have, especially in long distance.
I'm very excited for Africa Junior Championships. Like I said in my previous interview, I wanted to go for bigger events rather than Kana, and I guess I've made it even before the year ends. Yeah, and I'm very, 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 very excited about this, and I hope I beat my 400 freestyle record there, and I make sure I perform well for my country to be proud of me.
Elsewhere, attention will shift to the 2025 USF Secondary School Swimming Gala at the end of this month, with top swimmer Karen Mwanji hopeful to impress at the meet.
We have had league this weekend, and it has happened this weekend, and we have had a nice time. I've cut all my times, and I'm looking forward to attending the secondary school gala that is happening on 29th. My goal this year are to make new times and be among the best.
Marsha Mira Victor, UBC News.
We've almost come to the end of this bulletin, but before we leave you, let's have a recap of our top stories. In our top stories tonight, public accounts committees in Africa urged to probe funds at disbursement stage. NRM party to challenge results of the Kawempe North by-election. Minister Lumumba tasks Minister of Water to fast-track policy review. And in sports, athletes excel ahead of Africa Junior Championships. And that's all we had time for. Thank you so much for having kept us company. On sign language, it is Senyamo Yusuf, and I am Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma, wishing you a blessed night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Imagine a place where healthcare meets compassion.
Others come in and they have families, but families have fallen apart.
Where every patient is treated with dignity and care.
We have just talked about one aspect of it.
Welcome to Mulago National Referral Hospital, the heart of